it's Shannon. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button because I bring you new DIYs, tutorials, and new inspiration every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you remember back to my most recent Dollar Tree haul, if you missed that video, I'll link that down below. I had showed you these wood signs that I grabbed, but I wasn't quite sure what I was going to use them for yet. Well, I finally have some great inspiration, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how to use these to create your own lantern for your home's decor. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we're going to be using 4 of these wood signs from Dollar Tree. They are about 2 inches wide by 18 inches long. These are white. They also come in black too, so you can use whatever you can find because we're going to paint this anyway. So I have this set up over here to kind of give you an idea of what we're going to start with. And I already had this scrap piece of wood. It's cut down to 9 3/4 inch square. And this is going to be the bottom. I actually need another one of these for the top, which is why I have this other piece of scrap wood. This is a 1 by 12 that I'm going to cut down to the same size as the bottom here. And instead of the traditional squared off lantern, I actually am going to set my Dollar Tree signs on an angle here. So I'm going to cut the corners at an angle, and I will show you that as I go along, but this is kind of just a look at the basic setup of what we're going for. All right, so here's what my bottom board looks like. I cut the corners at a 45-degree angle, so I moved my table saw over to the 45-degree mark. And if you don't have a miter saw, you can use a miter box. I use that in quite a few of my tutorials. You can find that in my Amazon favorite store. I'll link that down below, the one that I actually use. And you can cut 45 degrees on your miter box too, as well as the straight cuts. So you could do this project using a handsaw and a miter box. Since I have the miter saw, obviously I'm just gonna go ahead and go the easier route because this is a little bit quicker. So now that I have my corners cut, I'm just gonna use this as a template and mark all of those cuts on the bottom board that I also had cut down earlier. That way I will have a top and a bottom piece. All right, so I have my top and bottom piece ready to go now. I also wanted to mention that I measured from that corner before this was cut. I measured from the corner over 1 1/4 inches, and that's where I made my 45-degree cut. And that is about the size we need for our Dollar Tree signs to fit along that cut edge. And now moving on to the next step, I need to sand these down. I'm gonna use my orbital sander and 80 grit sandpaper for that. And then I also need to get the stickers off the back of these here. So I'm gonna take my Goo Gone and get rid of those. I'm also gonna sand this side so it makes it a little bit easier to paint so we don't see the contrast between the words and the white on there. So it's gonna go ahead and do now. All right, so here are my Dollar Tree signs. Here's the top and the bottom. These are the scrap pieces that I cut out from these pieces, and I thought, you know what, I want to give this lantern a little bit more detail so it's not just a flat top and bottom. So I'm going to use this scrap piece. I'm going to cut another square, but an inch smaller, and cut those corners off again to make sort of a little bit more detail for the top. All right, and now I'm gonna make some feet for the bottom of the lantern. So this is a scrap 1x2, which is actually only 1.5 inches wide, and I want these squares. So I'm gonna cut these down to 1.5 inches long. I need 4 of them, 1 for each corner of the bottom of the lantern. All right, so here's all my pieces. Time to put it together. I personally am going to use my wood glue, my drill with a 1/8 inch drill bit, and some 2-inch wood screws to put it together. If you don't have all of this, you could just do wood glue. I would suggest like a Gorilla Glue, something that's gonna be extremely strong, more so than a regular wood glue. And then once you put it together and glue it all together, put something heavy on top of it so that your joints all connect good and it can dry that way before you actually use it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get to putting all of this together. All right, so I have it all pretty much built and put together. I put that wood filler here on the corners, which attached this top piece into the Dollar Tree signs. And so I filled those screws with some wood filler because I'm gonna sand it, paint it, you'll never know they were there. I also glued down the top piece, and we're gonna attach a handle up here. And I'm gonna make sure that the screws are long enough that when they go through the handle, they go through this board and into this top board, and that will secure this board in there a lot better without putting a bunch of screw holes in the top so it stays looking nice. But now that that's all put together, I'm gonna sand these wood filler holes really quickly, and then I'm gonna take it upstairs and we're gonna start painting. All right, so I brought this upstairs now to paint. I'm gonna be using my trusty Waverly chalk paint in the color white with a foam paintbrush. This is all probably going to get at least 3 coats just to make sure it has good coverage. And then I'll be using this handle or drawer pull, and I get these from Lowe's. They're only like $1 something. I really love the way they look. They have that farmhouse look, and they're really affordable. So this guy is gonna go up here, and I'm gonna use 1 1/4 inch wood screws to screw that in there. That way it goes through this top wood into the bottom wood, secures it all, and we can lift our lantern up to move it using that handle. I so love the way this beautiful lantern turned out. If this tutorial inspired you, please give this video a thumbs up for me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I have more great DIY tutorials in the link next to me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.